Flight TV here. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a productive day. Y'all see the title, man. We're gonna have a quick story time, right? As you see, they have, you know, I don't know what, how we would say it. They took away Black Lives Matter street, the little writing that was in DC, the yellow, big yellow, Black Lives Matter road, whatever you want to call it. So I thought it'd be an appropriate time to share my story about Black Lives Matter and the day that I found out that Black Lives Matter were frauds. All right, I'm not going to address any comments right now until I'm done. I don't want to get thrown off. Share your experience in the comments, man. But anyway, so yeah, they just rolled back, or they just, took away, repainted, whatever, however you want to say it. They just did away with the Black Lives Matter street, and it's raising a lot of controversy. Some people are happy about it. Some people are upset about it. And me personally, I don't care anything about it because black the Black Lives Matter movement doesn't give a shit about black people. Okay, let's be real clear about that. I want to be very clear. I need this to be a major piece that everybody can hear. That Black Lives Matter started as a hashtag, and it got hijacked by some weird people. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Black Lives Matter got hijacked. It was hijacked by some real strange people. And I'm going to tell you more about these strange people in my story. Okay? At first, we saw it on the internet. You understand? At first, we saw it as a hashtag, and it progressed into something way bigger. And what it progressed into has turned into some weird movement that really, the name is ironic because it didn't serve the black community in any way, shape, or form. Now listen, I'm gonna get into my story right now. So George Floyd, we all saw that thing kick off, right? And it really wasn't about George Floyd. We didn't want to make it about George Floyd. We're not making it about George Floyd. Yes, that incident is what tipped the situation off, right? But it was bigger than George Floyd, right? So boom, that shit happens. It's protests, it's looting, okay? It's marching, it's, hey man, the shit hit the fan, dog. It really went down. I don't know if y'all remember, but if you get a chance, go look up the major cities, Philadelphia. We were out there putting in work, dog. We was out there busting ass, okay? Police cars set on fire, you dig? Property destroyed. And the thing is, whenever a riot pops off, people are like, no, y'all go home, stop it. No, 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 no. Everybody keep doing what you're doing. Tear shit up, all right? And it's gonna sound ignorant, but I'm gonna tell you why. You tear shit up because you hit people in the pockets, okay? You hit the government, the law in the pockets. So now they gotta ask themselves, man, was Derek Chauvin, the officer that killed George Floyd, is he that fucking important? Is he $40 billion worth of important? So I love it. That's what we supposed to do. That's what goes on. That's what America did. America went out and kicked ass. When they weren't happy about things, they dropped bombs. They caused destruction. So that's what we do. Don't let nobody tell you that that's the wrong way to get things done. Anyway, so the George Floyd protests pop off, and the shit is hitting the fan, and I want to go and I want to stand in solidarity with my people, and I want to be out there, and that's where I set out to. I went out to DC. I live in Western Maryland. I live about 2 hours from DC, but I wanted to be a part of that moment, and I wanted to stand with my people, man. And I was so frustrated throughout the years of all the shootings and all the injustices. And I was out there really, I was out there with a picture of Trayvon Martin, dog. That's what I was holding up that picture. And it was a real surreal thing, man. That was my thing, like Trayvon. Y'all, we never got justice for Trayvon. So this right here, this ass kicking, it's for Trayvon too. You dig? Anyway, so I get to DC, right? Listen, as I come down Constitution, I come down Constitution, and I'm seeing all kind of people out there. I'm seeing a lot of different races. I'm like, man, this is cool, dog. This is a good thing. This is all right. Everybody coming out participating. Everybody's riled up. Everybody got t-shirts and posters, and you see all walks of life coming out, right? So then I park my car, right? And then I start walking. Now this is where Black Lives Matter comes in at. Let me back up for a second. As I'm riding down Constitution, I'm feeling welcome. All right. I'm feeling like, yeah, man, we here. We here. Let's have some unity and let's stand for something. When I got out my car and I started walking towards the main protest, I started to encounter people from Black Lives Matter. And look, this is just a real deal, honest testimony. I started to see, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, and I don't nobody get mad at me. I started to see a lot of black women with Black Lives Matter t-shirts on. And I will walk past these women in these groups, and none of them would speak to me. They wouldn't acknowledge me. And I'm trying to say hi to people. I'm trying to be in solidarity with people. I'm trying to, talk to people and spread love and let them know we here together. And listen, it wasn't one or two. Everybody that I saw with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on, they would not acknowledge me. It was very cold. And that's not it. I'm going to get to some more because there's more to the story. So I thought that was strange. I'm like, hold up, cuz, like, why in the world are they so standoffish towards me? Like, me? Like, this is who y'all here for, right? The black man. Y'all here for the black man, right? Y'all here for Black Lives, right? Well, here we are. And I couldn't even get a hello. They wouldn't even acknowledge me. Cool, no problem. Maybe I just ran across several groups of people who didn't want to talk. They were tired. They were focused on doing whatever they was doing. So anyway, I get out in front of the White House, and it's a crazy scene out there. It's tanks out there. The police are lined up in front of the gate. You have at least 6 different groups. You had like the skateboarders, the anarchist type of dudes. You had some Mexican people. You had the brothers, which was Frontline. You had the women, and you had Antifa. Now, I'm gonna tell you about when I encountered Antifa. That was a real spooky thing when I encountered Antifa. When you see Antifa, you just see tall white boys dressed in all black. They won't even speak to you neither. They're not there for solidarity. What I realized that day is a lot of people, a lot of these groups, they were not there for Black lives. They were there for their own cause. And they used our cause to hit the police with a skateboard and throw firecrackers. That's what they was doing. They was throwing M80s over the gate to the White House where the police was at. This is what they were doing. They were hitting police with skateboards. And I'm like, and then you see the brothers, right? The brothers are up front of the gate, and they're yelling at the police. They're yelling their frustration. They're yelling about what's going on with them, how they feel, right? So it's different. it's different people out there doing different things. Antifa's out there to blow some shit up. They out there to set some fires. They out there to cause trouble. Let's just keep it real, in a real sneaky manner. So anyway, I go in front of the White House, and it's a very surreal scene. You got tanks, you got people being disorderly, you got people out there chanting for justice. I gotta back up for a second. Before we made it to the White House, they had us walking. And looking back in hindsight, I gotta say I was fucking stupid for even walking with them people. Because it was like some chicks in the front leading the charge. You dig? It was chicks in the front, Black Lives Matter, and everybody would chant it, but they were walking us into these paths, and they were walking us down these streets, and they had their route mapped out and things. You dig? So looking back, and 2020 is hindsight. I'm like, man, they could have walked us into, and lined us up or something. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it. But even the ladies that was leading the charge, I'm like, who assigned these chicks? When I was walking, it wasn't really no strong men out there with us. It was kind of weird. I'm like, what's going on? It was like, what do they call it? Controlled opposition. So anyway, we walked past the Trump Hotel. Some people started vandalizing or whatever, and we finally made it to the White House. Boom, we in front of the White House. Now listen, y'all, listen. This is when I found out a lot of this shit. A lot of shit you see on the news, it's all planned. Okay, listen. So I'm out there. They start breaking out the rubber bullets and the mace and the tear gas, and they start tear gassing us and all that stuff. Next thing you know, I see a trash compactor, big one of those big orange trash buckets, the big joints. It was getting hauled off, right? And they pushed it in front. They pushed it right in front of the White House, right? Like we was kind of like to the left, like further down from where you could see the White House, but they pushed it down and they pushed it right up to the gate. And then this very attractive white girl, she looked like she was out of a movie. She looked kind of militant. Her and her entourage walks up, and they set the trash can on fire. But they walk up to the trash can that's on fire, and she stood right in front of it, and cameras came out. Chi, 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 chi. She had a sign. I forgot what the sign said, but she broke out her sign, stood in front of the trash can while it was burning, and took pictures. And all these cameras came out, start flashing. I said, "What the?" I'm a videographer, okay? So I know when something is scripted. I said, "What the fuck is this?" I'm not done. This was just one of the things that really threw me off. So it was a planned thing. They use these moments for their photo ops. For whatever reason, whatever they doing with it, cool, no problem. As the time went on, we still out there. It's still a lot of other funny stuff, a lot of photo ops. The girl, the model, she was a model. The model chick, she was just still taking pictures. So anyway, it's time to go, right? It's time to go. I get in my car. Now here we go. This is when I really realized that these people, Black Lives Matter, the movement, the Black Lives Matter organization, were frauds. Watch this. I get in my car. I'm coming up New York Avenue, I think it was. And it is 2 black chicks, 2 white chicks, and 2 LGBTQ white dudes. They are pushing like barriers into the middle of the road, right? They blocking the street off. You understand? I'm coming up the street. They're blocking the street off as I'm coming up. And I get stopped by them blocking the street off. And I stop. I'm like, beep, beep. I'm like, hey, look, The brother trying, hey, we here. I'm trying to get through. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was good money. I'm like, shit, Black Lives Matter. This shit is our day, goddamn it. Like, we're here. Like, I said, can I get, let me through. Hey, dog, the one of the black chicks, dog, she started cussing me out. She started cussing me out. I said, I had to take a minute to breathe. I'm like, whoa, why is she cussing? She talking to somebody else. So I said, no, she can't be talking to me. So I said, hey, I flagging her down again. Hey, can y'all move? I'm trying to get through. Now, as I'm doing this, they are they're setting up another photo shoot. They're blocking the road off for the only purpose of another photo shoot. They're not blocking the street off for Molotov cocktails. They're not blocking the street off for, to kick ass. They're blocking the street off to take pictures, y'all. So I immediately got pissed. I hopped out my car and I said, y'all better move this right now. You dig? So I'm getting into it with all of them. They all surrounded me. I'm into it with Black Lives Matter, cuz. How am I into it with Black Lives Matter? How? I even told them, I said, y'all Black Lives Matter. I thought my life mattered. Can I just get through up the street? Can y'all just let me through real quick? The girl, she cussed me out like I was a racist or something. She cussed me out like I was Donald Trump or her enemy. It was an enemy vibe. You dig? I'm gonna get to the comments in a second. I'm almost done. It was a real enemy vibe, okay? So I'm cussing. I'm ready to square up. I'm ready to square up with whoever. So finally, some brothers and sisters saw me going at it with these people. And they saw how livid I was. And they came over and they helped diffuse the situation and they helped to get them to move the barricade from off the street so I could proceed to go to hell home. I live 2 hours away. I'm tired. My feet hurt. You dig? I want to go home. So I finally get through and I was disappointed because I'm like, man, what just happened, dog? Like that right there, y'all. That let me know what time it is with Black Lives Matter. See, the thing is, when we hear it on the, we see it on the internet and things, we hear certain things, speculation. I got up close and personal experience with these people. And like I said, it wasn't just that group in the street. It was nobody showed love or unity out there. Nobody dapped me up. None of that. That's not my first protest. You know what I'm saying? So I know an authentic protest when I see one or when I'm at one. But I left out of there. I said, you know what, man? That was some BS, dog. Black Lives Matter. Then come to find out the ladies who run the shit was stealing millions, 90 million. And the reason why I don't care about that street getting renamed or them taking Black Lives Matter off the street, because let me tell y'all something. Peep this. Black Lives Matter is a code word. I'm gonna say it again. Black Lives Matter is a code word for migration, for LGBTQIA, A to the Z, H to the Izzo. It is a code word for everything but Black lives. Don't ever forget that. That shit, it does not mean anything to black people, because all they gave us was words on a street. If Black lives really mattered to those people, they would have put some policies in place to protect black people. After George Floyd was killed, that would have been the perfect time for an anti-black crime bill, a hate bill for black folks. I always get that twisted. That would have been the perfect time to introduce and pass an executive order for a hate bill for black people. Do you know Asians have a hate bill? Do you know that? Do you know other people have hate bills? I think the LGBTQ has an anti-hate bill. Who on this land deserves a hate bill more than us? Who? Why don't we still have one? And people will argue with you and they'll say, no, the Asians don't. It was actually a COVID bill. But no, if you look on line 3, it says Asian people. You dig? So that's another reason why we don't deal with the Democrats, and we still on their neck, and we're glad that they're crashing out. We're glad that they upset and whining and crying. You dig? Because they've been bullshitting us, dog. They've been lying to us. They've been having us out here, jump out here for these causes with nothing in return. We still got a lot of brothers and sisters that are actually lost in the sauce and still fall for these same games and tricks. And they're gonna have to find out whenever they find out. You know what I'm saying? But that was my story about Black Lives Matter, and that was, you know, when I realized that they were frauds, man. So yeah, let me get to these comments real quick. Who we got here? Shout out to Purge the BS. What up, big dog? What's going on? Yeah, man. Listen, I know it's not. When people see this title, man, they're not gonna be. Some people not gonna be happy, right? But you gotta look past that name, man. We gotta understand that name was hijacked. It was they took that name and they did some strange stuff with it. You know what I'm saying? As they do a lot of our stuff. We didn't co-sign those actions and the things that they put into place. We don't co-sign them stealing $90 million, buying mansions and things of that nature. That's why we don't need leaders. That's why we don't need groups, okay? We don't need any groups. We don't need a Black Lives Matter. We don't even need a Black Panthers, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because history has shown us that these things get infiltrated. They have something called COINTELPRO that is designed to take down black organizations. You dig? So we don't need any of that shit. All we need is the code, man. All we need to do is everybody to stick to the script. You know what I'm saying? Common sense. Everybody use common sense. We don't need anything elaborate, T-shirts and all this other stuff. We don't need flags or none of that, man. All we gotta do is stick to the script, man, and do what's right. You know what I'm saying? Do the correct thing. You understand? So yeah, man, I just wanted to drop that off. Damn, I'm going way over my time. I didn't want to spend that much time on this story because I want people to click on. But listen, this is Top Flight TV, Mr. Top Flight Films. I had to stop in and give y'all that story right quick. I will be back with more. We got more news and the headlines this week. Okay, I want to touch on some other stuff, but shout out to everybody for coming through. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate y'all. Boom, we out of here.